Novak, congrats on the victory. Like you said, a perfect and a flawless tiebreaker. How do you reset yourself? Obviously, tough third set, fourth one as well, also very tricky.
Yeah.
What goes into a champion's mind to reset and always play flawlessly?
Well, I think in tiebreak, obviously, it's a kind of a situation where every point matters. So you know, there's, I think, even more focus on every single point. You know, trying to make a mini break. And against Arthur, it was really difficult to return today because he was hitting his spots extremely well, particularly in the third and fourth, and you know, didn't give me much rhythm. He was, you know, mixing up the pace. But in the tiebreak, I found my best serving, which helped a lot. And then, you know, I played a couple of good points to do 2 mini breaks to wrap up the match. So it's really focusing on the present moment and what you can control. But yeah, a lot of tension, lot of nerves on the court. It was hard to play. You know, for sure. I was aware of the challenge that Arthur presents for me today, and that's why on the court I didn't, you know, maybe feel I was kind of fluent, and then there was not much flow like against Tsitsipas in the match, you know, because I faced Arthur for the first time today. So I knew, I was watching him play, I knew he was in good form, and that made me a bit more tight, I think, in the match. And he played well. I thought he did all he could to take me out of the comfort zone, and it was a tough match, but just, you know, very relieved to overcome it in 4.
Novak, you've always used the slice very effectively on grass on your backhand side. Has it changed over the years in terms of how easy it is to be effective with it, given the grass and changes in technology and things like that?
In terms of technology, in which sense?
Well, maybe with strings and maybe, you know, players passing shots and stuff like that.
I don't know. I actually had quite a few conversations with players and their coaches in the last 12 months on different tournaments, and talking about balls, you know, and we all agreed that since COVID, something has changed. The production, manufacturing facilities in China that are used for basically all the big manufacturers of balls that we use on the tour, there was a change, no doubt. You know, there's some material, something that has changed, that has affected the way ball reacts nowadays. You know, these balls that we use on the tour, also on the slams, they get slower, and they were definitely slower in average comparing to, say, if I go back 10, 15 years ago. Which means that the slice maybe isn't staying as low as it was staying earlier. It's still effective, no doubt, because it's grass, and obviously the surface gets worse every single day when you play on it. So lots of bad bounces, and you know, if you're able to hit some chip shots and, you know, short slices or whatnot, it's actually a very good play. But you know, if you're not supernatural with it, you know, it's not so easy to demand that from yourself. But it's super important variety that you have to should possess on the grass, no doubt.
The back there. Yeah.
Novak, you were slapping your thigh at one change of ends and had some strapping on your shoulder as well. It looked like. I just wanted to check if there's anything to worry about, what sort of shape you're in.
No, nothing major. It's just, you know, trying to, I guess, wake my muscles up sometimes when they, for some reason, shut down, and, you know, trying to lift my spirit, lift my energy. Sometimes, you know, it's this, sometimes it's something else, in terms of what I do to try to get myself going with the energy. But, yeah, nothing major, to be honest. You know, body's feeling all right for the moment.
Hey Novak, it was a very entertaining match to watch today. There was a few dives, and you had like the bow to the crowd, and then you kissed up to the sky. Has that always been something that's important to you, to kind of bring that expressiveness, entertain the crowd, an element of sort of theatre to the match?
Well, we are in the entertainment business as well, you know. I think in the end of the day, you know, you try to bring the quality for the people that pay tickets to come and watch you with your tennis, but also think, I mean, for me at least, it was always trying to interact in one way or another with the crowd. Over the course of my career, I've had plenty of exchanges with the crowd, you know, good and bad. But, you know, sometimes you have matches where you just try to switch everything and everyone off and not really pay attention. But sometimes, you know, if there's a proposal happening and you see it, you know, I think it's a nice moment if you say a few words and they'll remember it for a long time. And like it happened in, I think it was the first or second match that I played. So yeah, well, I mean, you're by yourself on the court, so there's a lot of emotions that you have to deal with and manage. Sometimes it's really hard to keep it all inside. And yeah, some are more expressive than others, I guess.
Charlie.
Novak, just wondered, in Paris you talked about kind of the need for energy conservation. Just wondered how you feel here, if you feel how different or otherwise you feel now energy-wise compared to then.
For sure, better, fresher. I mean, more energy now after 3 matches than I have had in Paris. I mean, but it's also normal and logical to expect that, considering the difference in the surface and physicality of the points and the effort that has to go in every shot with spin and everything on clay. You know, it's quite different here. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm not spending any energy on the court. Of course I am. And the deeper I go into the tournament, obviously, the less fresh I will be physically. But you know, I'm trying to maintain that to an optimal level. But as I said, no major issues, and I'm feeling fine.
I know there was a lot of really long points a day that went on, and you were actually able to be on the right side of those, often with him coming to the net and then you lobbing him. So how were you able to kind of get on the right side of those extended points?
Well, his variety was challenging for me because, you know, we don't have too many players that are comfortable playing, I guess, equally well, you know, inside of the court at the net and also behind the baseline. So he's quite an all-round player considering his height. He moves well. He's got some interesting chip shots and from slices with the defense and the forehand and the backhand. Obviously, huge serve. And he tosses it, you know, he's a very tall guy, and he tosses it forward. You know, he hits a 133 miles per hour serve. You know, I haven't even returned the serve. He's already at the net, you know. So it's quite intimidating, you know, when you have somebody that big and serves big and comes to the net and he tries to take away the time from your shots. He tries to put you out of the comfort zone. And he's done well, you know, today with his tactics, no doubt. And it was tough, just really tough match for me to play and tough player for me to face. And yes, you're right. I mean, there was quite a few points that were cat and mouse type of exchange. But I expected that. I knew, I mean, you could see already in the beginning, like right from the start, he played some drop shots in shots where it was a sitting duck, in a sense, forehand at the middle of the court, where 99% of the players would maybe, you know, go for the winner and come to the net, and he would be, you know, playing a drop shot, or then he comes in, then he pulls back, and then it's like, then he has a variety on his first serve, second serve. You know, he was coming in actually quite a few times on his second serve, come to the net, serve and volley, which is surprising. And he has played some terrific volleys, I mean, that are really outstanding, honestly. So he's really, really crafty. I mean, he's really skillful from all over the court, and a tough player to face in third round.
Last English question.
The joy that you show at the end of these wins, how much is that the fact that you have children that are of the age to be able to appreciate that? And what kind of a reward is that?
Well, first of all, it's a relief, that the match is done and I won. And then, of course, I made eye contact with my family, my children particularly, that were always very vocal. I mean, also today, I can hear their voices and they're really giving their best, to support the daddy. And last night I spoke to my daughter and she, showed me a couple of dances from these teenage pop groups and whatnot. And then, so we try to work on the choreography. I don't know. I mean, can't wait to go back home and ask her how I've done. Judging by her expression, it wasn't really super great. But, I try to, this is my way of interacting with children after the match and kind of, making them happy and just, these moments I try not to take for granted because they're very rare and special moments. So I very blessed to be able to have my children watch me, perform at the center court of Wimbledon for many years now, and they're aware of what's happening and they follow. And so it's a blessing for me.